Welcome. I wanted to continue the discussion on magic from another angle. I had a lot of thoughts following Soul's last video. Many in the comments were still really condemning magic, yet ultimately we all use tools attributed to Azazel. So I find it a bit funny for us to be criticizing whether magic is good or evil when we're all sitting at our screens typing away using forbidden technology that was given to mankind by these very same demons that we associate with dark magic. If you are someone who considers magic evil and you condemn it because it's a product of fallen angels, then how can you at the same time have anything to do with any of Azazel's creations? And Azazel taught men to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates, and made known to them the metals of the earth and the art of working them, and bracelets and ornaments and the use of antimony and the beautifying of the eyelids, and all kinds of costly stones and all coloring tinctures. And there arose much godlessness, and they committed fornication, and they were led astray and became corrupt in all their ways. The corruption brought on by Azazel and the Grigori degrades the human race. And the four archangels, Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel, saw much bloodshed upon the earth, and all lawlessness being wrought upon the earth. The souls of men made their suit, saying, Bring our cause before the Most High. Thou seest what Azazel hath done, who hath taught all unrighteousness on earth, and revealed the eternal secrets which were in heaven, which men were striving to learn. So a lot of everyday things like jewelry, eyeshadow, bullets, batteries, guns, smartphones, language, even fire, all of these things are given to us by these fallen ones. Yet today we still condemn one another for each and every act that goes against a physical book written in a language given to us by these same fallen angels. I know that there will be some thinking things like, even if that is true, I only use my computer for good. I truly only talk about God and helping people and spreading the word. And that's just fine. But if we're to use the same rules that are promoted in the Bible, what you're basically implying is that your use of this technology is necessary because ultimately it's a means to an end, and that you committing this one particular sin repeatedly is irrelevant because in the long run, your good deeds, spreading the word, will outweigh the act of using this fallen angel technology. But wait, do you also wear jewelry, or use eyeshadow, own guns or property? We currently live in an ego-based world where we are contributing to our ego when we have property. Property is bought through the art of business. This all belongs to the realm of materialism, Azazel's world. As we go up into higher planes of existence, this ego dissolves. Ego is a product of this fallen state of consciousness. If you are against magic, then why are these sins not considered? Ultimately, we're all in a really similar position. We're all born into this world and fed a narrative, either in church or school, that shaped our outlook on the world. To me, we're still very much children kind of wandering around a chaotic world trying to make sense of our overstimulating surroundings. Some of us are undoubtedly more mature than others. I know some of you guys are mothers, grandfathers, teachers, artists, soldiers, yet we all have a lot of the same thoughts and questions. If you really are completely against all things magic because it's from the fallen angels, then you might want to reconsider and truly live like Jesus. Void of material possessions, wandering place to place, spreading the word of God. No phone, no electricity, no jewelry. Doesn't really sound like a life most of us are willing or able to take on right now. I know that some people who are Christians and watching this video aren't making like snide remarks or mean comments and are really just listening. And even those Christians who do make those comments are only doing what they think is right based on the way they were taught. Just like I'm doing what I feel is right based on my experiences. There's no intention to rip anyone a new one here by pointing out this and saying like, oh, well, you're doing this, so meh. I'm just trying to understand where the divide is between things that we use in our daily lives being good or evil, despite having the same origins. What makes magic any more deceptive or dangerous than makeup or guns? They're just tools, and that's exactly how some people feel about magic. Magic doesn't hurt people, people hurt people. And it's the decision of the individual to decide on how to use a tool. A hammer could be used to build or destroy. A gun can be used to protect or for wicked purposes. Makeup can be beautiful, but it can also be deceptive. The outcome is dependent on how the tool is utilized. So the bottom line is that bad people will always find a way to use any means to make their evil vision a reality. Same argument is with weapons. Even if we banned weapons, there will always be people who will find a way to get their hands on weapons and use them for evil. And then, they can use them against anybody because nobody else will have weapons. This creates actually like an even stronger evil because those who are evil know that they have the advantage because the playing field is no longer level. So essentially what religion poses to accomplish is the removal of a dangerous power from humanity. And before I go any further, I'd like to clarify that I don't doubt that there were indeed some people who were taking advantage of this power and using it recklessly. There are cults who take part in sacrificial magic, and those cults were already hidden away from society, so for them to continue their practices in hiding would probably be fairly easy. It wouldn't be such a far reach to assume that at some point a group of people came to the conclusion that because magic can be so destructive that it shouldn't be allowed to exist. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, they say. However, it can't truly be removed because it is in all of consciousness, but it can be manipulated and it can be controlled by changing our perception. So by redirecting our consciousness to a single figure and attributing magic to that figure, the responsibility of sin or magic is redirected. Christianity itself even uses sacrificial magic, Jesus himself being the sacrifice, dying for our sins. In the process of symbolically removing this tradition from society, books were burned, people who didn't comply to the new mandates were persecuted and branded witches, killed, and just like that, the masses were afraid of witchcraft, partly because of all the danger that can accompany it, but also partly because they didn't want to be branded a witch and killed in the city circle. Trauma-based mind control is so incredibly strong that the fear and hate for magic has scarred into our subconscious. It seems to me that an attempt to make the world safer has only resulted in a better environment for evil to thrive. How can we defend against something that we don't understand or believe in, but has an effect on us? Ultimately, I think it's come about because we so detrimentally misunderstand ourselves. Instead of forming our own understanding of reality based on our experiences and our own observations of cause and effect, we're spoon-fed reality through textbooks, films, all sorts of media. It doesn't make books and movies inherently evil, of course, but because there are those who understand the human psyche and magic, they're able to mass-produce media and subtly manipulate human consciousness to their desired narrative with these tools. Control human consciousness, and you control reality. Magic is just a tool, and the major religious and academic establishments make every effort to distort its history or deny its existence. Since it's been impossible to stamp it out, all that they can do really now is make it out to be a joke or a trendy little game that, girls play. Stage magic and new age fashion, while entertaining, paint magic in a kitschy light to a lot of people. Popular outlook on magic is that it's cheesy and cringy because science boldly labels it pseudoscience. Science, which is a word that hardly means what it claims to mean, asserts that magic is nonsense and makes it something to laugh about instead of fear. Cartoon mice and pointed hats come to mind now when the word magic is mentioned, so it's associated with the naivety of childhood, dismissed as idle fancy and laughed at. It kind of reminds me of that movie Monsters Inc., where the monsters realize that they can actually harvest laughter instead of fear. Anyway, ultimately, magic is just like anything else. It has more than one side. It's not something that can be forgotten or erased or ostracized into oblivion because it's not just a concept, but a human function. It's more about personal responsibility, and I think that's why magic fell out of style. As life became more convenient, magic became not as important, and less people took the time to learn the ancient tradition until we got to where we are now, where magic is only something whispered about in the shadows by conspiracy theorists and new age nutcases. either laughed about or looked upon with fear and disdain. And I think it's in part just because of misunderstanding. We think that it's this instantaneous pixie dust, snap your fingers and, things will be different instead of a natural process. So I guess that's really all I've got to say on that. I do want to make another video on that scapegoat ritual because it's really, really interesting. And then I have a couple of other ideas in the works. Thank you guys for being so patient. I know it's been a while since we posted. We both have a lot of things going on and jobs and stuff. So we really appreciate all the time that you guys put into your comments, and every single one means a lot to us. So thank you again, and may our minds be unveiled.
Let go of everything you think to be true. Relax the mind and ask the question, do I truly understand what this reality is?